I've reviewed a lot of smartwatches in my time, and this might be the most durable smartwatch I've ever tested. This is the Kospet Tank T4 smartwatch, and it's a beast. From IP69K water and dust resistance, 20 military grade durability tests, stainless steel 360 degrees protection, all the fitness tracking, health tracking things you can think of, all built into this, and it comes in for around 200 bucks. Check this thing out.
Okay, let's go.
Hi, I'm Chris with Gadgets and Wearable. Quick disclaimer, this was sent to me from Kospet for test and review purposes. However, they'll get no input on the video or get to see a preview of it before you, so they're going to see it the first time right alongside you. So, that out of the way. Kospet Tank T4. This is a super durable watch. I previously reviewed the Kospet Magic M10 and P10 smartwatch, so I'll put a link up here somewhere. It'll pop up for you to check that out if you're interested. And those are really durable watches as well. However, the Tank T4 takes it up another notch and adds some additional durability factors, some different materials, and it's really a complete watch if you're looking for a durable watch. Especially considering we're talking about 200 bucks. That's crazy. So with this watch, there is a T4, which is the square or rectangular watch. There's also an M4, which is your round watch. The difference between these two watches is strictly the size, the dimensions and shape of it, right? So we're both talking 1000 nits brightness AMOLED displays. You get a 1.96 on the T4, where you get a 1.43 on the round M4. So you get a little difference there, but it's just a difference in size or shape, right? 16 gigs of RAM, 32 gigs of storage on these watches. They come with so many different sensors and things like that. You got a P4 biometric sensor on that's tracking your heart rate, your blood oxygen. It helps track your sleep. We've got an altimeter, we got a barometer, we got a compass. Like, it is packed with sensors. On top of that, the case itself, so it's what they call their Inox 360 protection. So it's a 360 degree stainless steel case around this entire thing with seals and gaskets and screws holding it together to give it a super durability and rugged. With that, we get 10 ATM water pressure resistance. So we're gonna get, you're gonna have no issues with this in terms of pressure when you're going in diving and things like that. It is rated up to 43 meters in diving. And with that, we get IP69K dust and water resistance. So we've got the highest dust and water resistance we can get, and that K adds in, it means it's also resistant up to with high pressure washes. So while this is rated for diving and swimming and all that stuff, and it'll handle all that without any damage to the internal components because of water getting in there, it is always a good idea if you're going into swimming pools, salt water, anything like that, when you're done, to give it a good wash. So when you get any salts or anything in there that could cause issues if it stays in there for a long period. But because this has that 69K little tag on the end of the water and dust resistance, it means you can wash this thing with a pressure washer if you needed to and get it cleaned off, and it'll survive it. So that's really great to know if you have a situation where this has got it. We've got a fully touch screen on it like you'd expect, but one of the things that's great about a lot of high durability watches, especially if you talk about durability or just running watches, things that you're gonna be running, doing exercise with, your hands might be dirty or sway or something like that, having physical buttons really helps you to navigate the menu and navigate around the watch without having to touch the screen, because if your hands are messy and dirty, it may not even read a touch, so it's good to have that there. So we've got 4 buttons. You got an up, down, select, back, all those buttons are here, and they also can have some customization program to the buttons. So if you push, say the back button, you can program that to launch a specific app if you'd like. So that's really nice. On top of that, talking about that screen, we've got Corning Gorilla Glass 3 to help protect the screen and keep it safe from scratches and cracking and things like that. So you got a really good screen. While I would like to see this get a sapphire crystal display, because that would really amp up the durability and kind of match the rest of the watch's capabilities, we're gonna add on price if we do that. So like I said, we're sticking around 200 bucks with this watch, and so if we're gonna have to go with Corning Gorilla Glass over sapphire glass to meet that, I'm okay with that considering what else we're getting with this watch. It has a 500 milliamp hour battery, and they rate it to 14 to 21 days of typical usage, light usage. And this is if you're not using like always on display, you don't have the heart rate monitoring turned up high. Some of those little settings you can adjust. Every little bit saves battery, and for that kind of battery life, you're going to have to make some of those changes. Now, I've been averaging 5 to 7 days. I've been testing this for 2-3 weeks now. I get about 5 to 7 days of use out of this per charge, and that's really good. And I've used it I've gone on a couple of runs with it. I've used it to play basketball and play volleyball a time or two. I always have the always on display. I have it lift to wake the watch, so I've got everything turned up as far as I can go in terms of the screen and things like that. I've got the heart rate monitor and all the other health tracking systems turned up to as frequently as they can check. So I've got that turned up. We're still getting over a week's worth of battery out of it, so that's pretty good. But what's great about that, one of the changes that they made with this watch over the previous watches I've tested from them is the charging method. Let me grab this. So before, they had just this thin little cable and a little magnetic end on it, a couple magnets and your pogo pins, and it would stick on to charge it. And while that's fine, the magnets were never really strong, and it was easy to move the watch and have it get out of alignment and then not charge for you. With this, they've upgraded, and we've got this little charging puck with the USB-C, doing a little spot, you can tie it on a lanyard, plug your cable into it, and this is your charging dock. So this little puck here is great. It's got the magnets in it, so it gets it aligned. Got your pogo pins. It's even got little rubber feet on it to keep it from sliding around your desk. This is super handy. And while I really appreciate that change, they went and went another step. They also came out with this. This little guy here looks just like the puck. However, this one actually has a battery built into it. So it's a rechargeable charging puck for the watches. This is the power pocket, and it is an 850 milliamp hour battery in this. So not only can it recharge your watch from 0 to full again, you'd even get a little bit extra on top of that. So this thing is really cool for a watch that can last, depending on your settings, you can get up to 3 weeks if you set it before you charge it. And then with this, I mean, you're gonna get like close to 50 days before you have to actually plug it into a wall. So if you're going on a trip, this watch would be a great companion, especially along with that little charging puck. In terms of the packaging, when you get the watch, you're going to get the charging dock, not the pocket, charging power pocket. That's a separate accessory. But you're going to get this really nice rubbery silicone band. I do like the bands that Kospet uses. I've noticed with their bands and their other watches I've tested, the bands are this rubbery material, but they tend to be a little softer and stretchier, and they feel a little more comfortable. I don't have issues with like lint or dirt or anything get stuck on them. So I really appreciate the watch bands that Kospet uses and the materials they choose for that. But they sent along this. I've got a brown one as well, but this is a black leather band, and they sent along a brown and a black. I wore this one for a while. It wore well. I had no issues with it as far as like any staining or since it's black. I was concerned maybe some dye maybe leaking off of it, because I did wear this to work out in one time just to see if any additional moisture caused any problems, and I had no issues with that. So I think that's a really nice band. It's a standard 22 millimeter watch band, so you can switch it out for whatever you like. If you got a particular watch band or style you want, you can do that too. Outside of that, I mean, that's our general design of this watch. It's got, like I said, it's got all the sensors. We've got dual band GPS in it. You can download maps for offline, and you can also even add in like viewpoints and stop points. You can do topography and all that kind of stuff. For those kind of things, you do have to connect to a computer, but you do have GPS and all that stuff in there, and I had no issue with it locking on to my location when I was going for runs or anything like that. It all worked really well. So let's go into and check out the app. All right, so when we look at the app for the Kospet Tank M4, Tank T4, sorry, M4 uses the same app. Previously, when I reviewed the Magic P10 and R10, they use the Kospet app, and with this watch, I'm actually using a different app, and this is their Apex Move app. And the watch itself doesn't run Wear OS or Watch OS like your Apple watches and Google or Samsung watches do. It runs their own proprietary software called Apex OS. So it's an RTOS real-time operating system. So you're not gonna have the apps that you're gonna expect on those other watches you've used before from like Google, Samsung, and Apple, things like that. But it's got plenty of the apps, all the apps you're gonna need. You're not gonna be able to download like DoorDash or Uber or things like that to it, but you're gonna have other functionality utility apps on the watch. But in their app, once you get connected to their app, it's nice and easy to use. The software is great in terms of navigating around and speed. I've had no issues with that whatsoever, and the app's pretty nice. It's pretty clean. Getting the watch out of the app is super easy. You get your app account set up, log in, tap add a device, and walk you through it. It's super quick and easy to do. But once you get it set up and you're in the watch, you're welcome to the home page here. And on the home page, you're gonna get your live stats, right? So it's gonna show your steps, calories, and how far you've traveled. You get your current last read heart rate, you get your sleep right there. I'm not sleeping well lately, but this watch has caught all that. Stress and all the blood oxygen. You can edit it and change it so you can see only the things you want to see right there, so that's kind of nice as well. Workouts, so we're going to show you your last workouts and keep track of that stuff for you, and also you can build in a training plan if you're wanting help kind of figuring out what you're going to do with your workouts, or kind of when to take a rest and when to push a little bit. The watch app will kind of help you with some of that. You got Explore, which is going to be where we're going to work on your mapping. You can add in save offline maps, things like that. You can save offline maps from the phone, but if you want to go do like points within a map and things like that, and get the additional information like topography. That's something you're going to load up into a computer to get listed for it. When we get to the end, we go to your main account. So this is on the first page here. You're going to see your device and all the different things for your general account. So this isn't watch specifically. This is going to be things that's in your profile. So you can adjust all those things. You can check your reports, set your goals, weights, all that good stuff. Go view the watch store. When you tap on the device itself, this is when you go in and start managing the watch, and you get quite a bit of flexibility in what you can do in the app, which is nice. You don't have to do everything through the watch, and so I'm glad that Kospet has done that with the Apex Move app. Display settings, you go in and change that, whether you want it automatic, auto dimming. So that is really nice. They do have an ambient light sensor in this, so the watch will automatically dim and brighten on its own. So it's really nice considering the price point. A lot of watches around this price point tend to skip out on that to save price. You got your screen wakes, you got some options there. Watch face store, they got lots of watch faces in there, tons of options there, so there shouldn't be any issues as far as finding something you like there. Sports recognition, so this can recognize sport or activity automatically. They've got 23 different workouts that they'll recognize. Their Apex workouts, things like running, cycling, swimming, walking, those kinds of things. But then there's another 160 workouts within the app that you can manually initiate. Like volleyball is not one of them, neither is basketball is not one of the automatically recognized, but it's in the sports options that you can choose, and so you can still go through that device. Find your device. If you can't find your watch, you can find it as long as you're within Bluetooth range, because if you're not in Bluetooth range, the watch can't connect to your phone can't help find the watch. More, you can come in and set your alarms, going through and manage all that in here. They do have quick replies for messages, so you can just quick tap and send it on, so you can do that as well, because it does have a microphone in it as well as a speaker, so you got options for that. Morning brief is going to give you your things that happened, what you did yesterday, if you've got a training plan or kind of information for that, so you can manage all that in here in the More tab. Notification reminder, set up how you want your notifications. You can turn what apps you want to get notified from your phone, what you don't want to get notified from. So you get a lot of flexibility there, which is nice, because there are some apps that are going to notify me 15 times a day, and I just don't need that notification on my watch all the time. So we turn that off. Go in and monitor, change all your heart rate settings. So how often it's going to read different levels, whether you want a high heartbeat notification or low, they can do all that for you as well. Events can be your calendar, routes, and locations. Watch settings, you go in here and adjust your sleep mode. They have a bunch of different options in here. So your off wrist lock, because if the watch recognizes it's no longer on your wrist, it'll go ahead and lock it with a pin code or passcode, however you want to set that up, so that nobody can access and see things on your watch without you letting them. So all that's in here. It's all pretty self-explanatory. They give you all the options within the app to let you take care of all that. And it's really pretty easy. They've made the app easy to use and manage, and it works well with the watch. Everything stays connected. I haven't had any issue with it losing connection to the watch or anything like that. Everything stays pretty well synced up for it, so it's been pretty good. Let's talk about a few things that I would like to see change, or things that aren't so great about the watch, and then we'll wrap this up. So the Kospet Tank T4 has been a good watch. It is a thick watch. I mean, this is a honker beast tank of a watch, whatever you want to call it. This is that. It's thick, it's heavy, but it's all for a reason. I mean, it's not built to be a slim, stylish fashion watch. This is built to go on adventures and go do stuff with you. Even if you're not going on hikes and crazy adventures all the time, you want to watch it. Whether you're out, you work on some equipment, you get into situations that you end up having to do something. You don't want to accidentally risk your watch getting damaged because you jumped in the pool for some reason, silly prank or joke or whatever it may be. You don't want to have to worry about your devices getting damaged, and this watch will handle anything. I've banged this against trees, I've smacked it against rocks, I've worked on my lawnmower and I've had it on, and it's been into small areas, and it's had no problems come out unscathed. Even though it doesn't have the sapphire glass screen cover, it's been fine. My issues mainly lie within the software. Like I said, the Apex OS is quick. It moves, everything scrolls quickly, it works well, it's fast to move between screens, but there's just a few things that don't quite, I guess, act the way I would expect them to act, and maybe that's just a software glitch, or is this still a young OS and still has some maturing to do to finally flesh out and get everything really gelled together. Mainly, my issues come within some of the settings. So some of the things I don't like about this is you have a lot of control. So you can schedule sleep. So you want it to go into automatically go into sleep mode from 10 p.m. until 8 a.m. or whatever that you want it to see. It also has a smart recognition, so it'll just try to recognize when you've gone to sleep, or you can manually initiate it. I tried the smart option, and more often than not, it wouldn't recognize I started sleeping until after midnight, which is strange. While I have a weird sleep schedule and I don't sleep well, I don't go to sleep often past midnight, and so when it doesn't start until after midnight, it really messes up my sleep timing as far as like trying to track it. If you're really trying to keep track of what's going on with your sleeping and trying to monitor that to improve your health or see what's going on, it's going to make that tough. When using the schedule, I get similar results, and I don't know if that's a delay in the sensors, if it's a software issue or what it is, but almost as often, if you saw in the screen recording from the app section, it said I had 5 hours and 45 minutes sleep last night, which means, and I woke up this morning at 6 o'clock, which means I went to bed after midnight, and I was definitely in bed before midnight last night. It was closer to like 10:30, 11 o'clock. So it's supposed to start recording sleep at 10 p.m. and obviously it missed that. So there's some weird things in there. The manually starting it does work a little better, but it's not a setting you should have to do when the other options are there and you're trying to remove steps that you have to do when you're using a watch that's supposed to do those things. It's really frustrating. During workouts, there's a page when I was exercising, or I was playing volleyball or on a run or what it was, but there was a section in the app and you kind of swipe through and you get your metrics, your heart rate, your blood oxygen, and those different metrics. And one of them just said null, N-U-L-L, and it had like 200,000, and then it would jump to 600,000, then drop down to 3, and then back and forth. No idea what it meant. Didn't correlate to anything in the app, so I'm not sure if that's a placeholder or just some old trash from building the apps or what happened there. So mainly that's kind of my issues, is just there's some weird glitches and disconnects in some of the parts of the app that I would like to see cleaned up a little bit. The watch itself is great, and overall the watch works well. I don't have too many issues with, drop notification and things like that. It's kind of normal for some of these RTOS watches to not really sync that well with notifications. When I say that, I mean, if you get a notification on the watch and you answer it here, it may not remove it from your phone, or you could answer on your phone, it could be gone from there and still be in your watch hours later, and you have to just clear it out of there. So I'd like that to be a little more in sync. But outside of that, watch is solid. It's done a good job. It's fast, discreet. The 1,000 nits of brightness definitely works when I'm outdoors. It's hard to catch it on camera, but I'm outside. This thing is no problem being able to see the screen in any light I've had. It's been really great for that sort of stuff. So if you're curious about the watch, definitely I got a link down below. You can check that out. Any comments, you have any questions, I'll try and help you out best I can. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll try and help you. But I got lots more videos coming up. I've got smart watches. I've got smart lights. I've got vacuums. I've got some patio heaters and fire pits I'm working on. So tons of stuff on the way. So make sure you hit that subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss any videos. I really appreciate it. Thanks for sticking around. I'll see you in the next one.
Okay, let's go.